Alright, let's put these things aside. Let's take a look at the current status of our dirt and clumps and whatnot. And it's looking it's not fully dried, but I think what I'll do now is take some milliput and try and put a coating of watered down milliput over top, as well as some places here, and try and get like a smoother look to some of these blocks and rocks. I think that's what we're going to be doing. Overclocked remixes, yeah, good stuff. I used to go there and just listen to all the Street Fighter tracks that they had. I'm sure that they still have all sorts of Street Fighter remixes still to this day. And I'm pretty sure like some of the people that created remixes on that website have gone on to like work in the industry in some fashion, or some sort of musical background, some aspect of the industry, which is so cool. Not Slide, have you ever heard of Dwelling of Duels? I have not. This sounds like a game of some kind. It's just a wild guess. Dwelling of Duels. It's okay. It's similar to Ose remixes, but instead there's a monthly theme and people have to compose music based on that theme. Dwelling of Duels. So this is a website that I can go to then. Is it safe to stream that music while I do stuff? Because that would be neat. Oh, there is a website. Cool. Dorymoth, what is this milliput? Yeah, so milliput is a 2-part epoxy. Let's actually read the box. So milliput. Milliput is a versatile epoxy putty which is highly adhesive to most materials. Milliput can be sculpted and once cured can be machined, drilled, tapped, turned, filed, sawn, sandpapered, and painted. Made in the UK. So yeah, it's a 2-part epoxy. If you just saw that there's these, it's kept in separate bags. It's like differently colored, right? And once you mix them together into like one solid green color, then it's active as like a sculpting agent, I guess. Like it's active to use. And do I have the other stuff that I used to use? So I used to use this stuff a lot. If you're in the Warhammer hobby, I'm sure Mika in the chat is very familiar with this stuff. This is also a 2-part epoxy, often referred to as green stuff. And again, it's the same principle. You're just going to mix the yellow with the blue until it turns green, and then you can start using it. However, the green stuff, I just find it very difficult to use. It's kind of got this weird rubbery texture consistency, even in the best of days. Yeah, Mika, green stuff, even like in the best case scenario, green stuff tends to have this feeling and texture of like you're working with bubble gum, which frankly isn't very, very nice to work with in my opinion. But I was watching some videos as far as like alternatives to that, and I saw this stuff come up a lot, milliput, and yeah, they say it's a lot easier to work with, and so I was like, let me try it out, and I do like it. Mika, you're doing it right. Never mix the middle, but part together. Yeah, because you'll get lumps. Yeah, for sure. Mix green stuff, then leave it for an hour to soften up. Oh. I didn't know that, actually. That's actually a good tip. I mean, I do still have that stuff, so I will use it eventually. But another thing that I like about this this green stuff, or sorry, the milliput rather. One thing I like about this stuff is that you can use alcohol to, what's the word I'm looking for? To like thin it down to the point where it becomes kind of like a watery, gluey kind of paste, and then it's really great for filling in gaps. Just got some glue, some alcohol right there. And where's my brush? Where's my brush? I have a brush specifically for milliput purposes. And oh, here it is. Oh, gross. Some people mix green stuff and milliput together. Yeah. I've heard of that too. So you can kind of get the best of both worlds, because milliput can sometimes be a bit more brittle. That's my understanding. So if you add in a bit of the normal green stuff, you get a bit more strength, kind of. Okay, let's see here. Okay, mix. So yeah, I took like just a little bit of that milliput, and now I'm mixing it with alcohol, and I kind of want it to become a kind of watery paste. Mothman is following. What's up, Mothman? How's it going? Mothman Stan. Mixing this up. Dory Moth, excuse me. She's like, excuse me. So yeah, I'm still mixing. I'm kind of just waiting till it gets fully blended in, and then I'm going to pour it or brush it on top of this area here to kind of make it look smooth. Mothman, first-time chatter, of course. I hear we're making things look like dirt. Sounds like fun. I'm in this wonderful fuckery called I have these ideas but no resources and motivation. Well. I, too, often have ideas about working on things, but I try, at least, to see if we can achieve the ideas that I have in my mind. Hopefully. Hell yeah, welcome to the club. Not Sly. Mika, just imagine this there is a muscled man with hair down his shoulder blades, eating a slushie from a glass with a spoon at 10 p.m. on the other side of the screen. I'm imagining. Carmi, have I ever thought of using real dirt? I have not. For this particular use case, I don't think it would be useful, but here's a little bit of story time. So back in high school, you know, being like the artsy-fartsy kid, we had this project where we had to, you know, create a series of artworks based around some kind of theme or whatever. And I remember I wanted to do something kind of about the environment. So I created this sculpture of like a humanoid sculpture kind of thing out of pop cans. And then I put it in a plant. I put that sculpture in a plant. So with real dirt. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up now, is because I actually have used dirt and soil in my artworks with the plant. And then I was like, you know, I got up there and told them about my project, and I was like, so this is the idea, you know, like this sculpture will one day rust because I'll water this plant, and then that's art, guys. You know, pretty much. And then months later, I put it in a box, and I opened it up, and and the plant shriveled up. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about the whole watering part. I was like, this is like a living piece of art. It's gonna rust, and it has a plant in it, so it's like, you know, It's like art, but a plant, and it's rust. And then I kind of forgot about all of that and just put it in a box for several months. And the sculpture was fine. The sculpture was totally fine, but the plant had died. I felt kind of bad. Not slide, we have to touch grass, and nobody should do that. You're right, Carmi. Mothman. Like, I have these film ideas, but I have no camera. I have all these clothing ideas, but no sewing materials. Painting ideas. So, my advice to you is to do one thing at a time. Like again, I can kind of relate to that. Like, I definitely have or had a bunch of cool ideas. I'm like, man, I've got these cool ideas. And you know, like you either like keep it a secret, write it down, or start telling people about all these ideas. But at the end of the day, that's all you're doing is just kind of talking about it, but not doing anything about it. And you kind of get overwhelmed because it's like, I've got all these ideas. I've got all these ideas, man. So my advice is actually just to pick one of them. Pick the one that's the most doable and work towards that. Just do one idea, and even if the entirety of that singular idea is overwhelming in itself, just break it down into parts. You know, just break it down into, like, okay, I want to do, if you're saying fashion, then like, yeah, well, not that I know anything about fashion, but it's like just break it down into steps. What do you need to do? And then you just keep on doing each individual part. You keep on working on it, and then eventually it all comes together. Hopefully. Dory Marth, it's plart. Tell me more about this plart. Have we invented a new genre? Plart? Not slide, do you have a phone? Best camera's the one that you have on you. True. Mika, I have a sporadic hobby idea session where I lie there and go, oh, this would be cool, and I use this kit and that one, and then it would go to another idea. Okay. Mothman, yeah, but the look I want to achieve would be a lot better with the camera. My phone camera sucks. Anyways, you said plant and art. Plart, yeah. You know what? Again, Dorymoth with the ideas. Just a constant font of wonderful ideas. Plart. It was Plart. Now someone else is going to come along and make Plart. And I'll be like, I was the first. Someone else will be like, become this gigantic, famous New York artist with like, gallery showings. And then he'll sell his paintings, his Plart, to Kanye West for billions of dollars or whatever. And I'll just be like bitterly shaking my hand at my computer screen like, it was Plart. I made Plart. It was me. It was me. Because sporadic meaning random and in the moment. Oh, like sporadic? 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 Plart? Like Plart? Am I a Plartist? I have been working with plants today. I've got Plart on the mind. Okay, we need a bit more alcohol. But yeah, it's like, yeah, your camera might suck, but again, I kind of go back to this idea that like if you're just doing it, it's worth a whole lot more to you to just do something rather than just talking about it or waiting for like the perfect time and this perfect vision that you have in your mind for how it should go or for how it should be. It's a lot better just to do it, even if it ends up being not exactly how you imagined it. Dyslexia 100, sporadic. Alright. Alright, I think we're on the same page now. Mika, I moved around some of my artificial plants. If that's relevant, it's always relevant. Your plant, the locations of your plant, your plants, your fake plants are of high interest to me. I need to be kept aware of that at all times. So please continue to inform me of such things. So yeah, I really want these rocks to kind of look a lot smoother. And I'm making this smushy, slushy solution to kind of help with that. I'm actually not 100% sure if it'll help. But again, this is all part of my theory of just doing stuff. And we'll see how it goes. It's almost too watery, in fact. So let's help this process along and break down this stuff. Break down this stuff. Hope you guys are having a good day today. It's Tuesday, and the weather outside here in Ontario is pretty nice, actually. I hope that the good weather continues into next month. That would be nice. That would be nice. Planning on going on a bit of a road trip next month, so it would be cool if the weather was good and not crappy. At least for a good chunk of my trip. Mika, I've got taller ones, and I put them in the corners of my living room. The ones that were there are now in my bedroom. Okay, cool. You know, I used to have a lot more plants in my studio workspace, but they all ended up dying. And I did water that stuff, so I'm like, what the hell? I have no idea. I have this, by the way. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's been in the corner of my workspace all along. This is a little forest spirit from Spirited Away. I bought this at the convention that I went to last weekend. And yeah, this is a plant. Well, it's moss, right? And I do need to water this thing. And I bought it because I was like, I kind of want a plant for my room again. And hopefully this doesn't die. I only need to water it like once a month. That's what they said. But they had a bunch of other ones too, like a Pokemon. There was like this, yeah, you could get like bigger ones too with a little Bulbasaur in there amidst the dirt. I guess this is Plart too. Now that I think about it, we're having a very Plart themed day today. Yeah, this is Plart. I'm gonna use that word a lot now, Dorymoth, so thank you for that. But yeah, hopefully that thing won't die on me. It's less intense. It needs less intensive care than like a regular plant. So hopefully, maybe. Every time you say it, I get a little boost of serotonin. There's another kind of plant that I would like to buy too. I saw, was that like Home Hardware or something? And they had this stuff. They had these plants called, gosh, what was it called? Air plants. Did you guys hear about this stuff? It's an air plant. And it's literally like plants that are found in deserts and stuff, and they need very, very little water because they just get moisture from the air. And it kind of looks like just a root. You know, it kind of just looks like a little root thingy. with no soil, but it can survive just like that. You don't need anything else. And I was like, wow, that's pretty neat. And so people kind of like attach them to like pieces of wood, or put them like underneath a little glass or something. I guess, well, I don't know about the glass part, but yeah, I was like, that's really neat. I kind of want one. Dorymoth air plants? Oh, you know about the air plants. You know. Dorymoth invented the word plart, so she would know. Mika, also, as I live alone, it helps to make it feel more homey. And some color. Cool, yeah. I guess because you're away kind of often, you getting like real plants, like living plants, would be not a good idea though, right? But yeah, that's great, man. Every time I go to IKEA, I always see people looking at the plants, and it's like it's not just like old little biddies, like old ladies and stuff checking out plants, right? Yeah, everyone can like plants and get into plants. Let's get into plants, guys. Let's all get into plants. Let's make a new category on Twitch. Plants. But yeah, the IKEA, I only thought of IKEA just now because they sell a lot of cool fake plants too. A lot of nice ones. They look nice. Mothman, a new rare aesthetic. Sewing kit in a locked gun safe. Why the hell is the sewing kit in there? No clue. I don't know. And I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about, but good for you. Mika, I just got artificial ones because they're easy to take care of. Example, don't knock them over. Also, as I live alone. Oh wait, I read that. Never mind. The weather here in Britain is dark and cloudy. Oh right, so they probably wouldn't fare well then. It's you? You were the one? I'm always there looking at more artificial plants to buy. They even have some huge big ass ones too. Some big old artificial plants. Oh my god, I just splashed a bunch of this stuff all over the place. Did I get the model itself? It looks fine. Okay, gotta be a little more careful here. Yeah, one time I was at IKEA, and there was this couple looking at the plants, the artificial ones, and the one guy was like, well, how about this one? And his girlfriend said, I don't know, it doesn't look aesthetic enough. And when she said that, I immediately thought of like the spelling of aesthetic, where it's like each letter has like a whole space bar in between each letter, and it's italicized. Aesthetic. She was like, it's not aesthetic enough. I'm not even sure what that means in that particular context. It's not aesthetic enough. Mika, I don't like the big leafy ones. They don't look right, and they can often look messy and unkept. I would love plants, but my cat will eat them, so this is Dorymoth, so I have to wait until I can get an indoor greenhouse thing or a really tall shelf. Yeah, I feel like if you put a really tall shelf, you're basically just setting out a challenge. You're basically creating a American Ninja Cat Warrior challenge for your cat. But a greenhouse thing, that's an idea. That might work. And actually, wow, do I work for IKEA? Am I shilling for IKEA right now? They do sell... Actually, IKEA sells a tiny little greenhouse. I think it looks really aesthetic. I think it looks really cute. So yeah, can look into that. I don't actually know if you have an IKEA near you, but maybe you can find a similar kind of thing. Yeah, they sell these like tiny little greenhouses, and it looks really cool. Dorimath, he'd accept that challenge too. Totally. Challenge accepted. I'm going to repeat this song again once it's finished because I just like it a lot. I was talking about how I was watching Awesome Games Done Quick, or Summer Games Done Quick, and this was playing during one of the breaks, and I was like, what is this? I need it. It's from Undertale, but there's like an operatic accompaniment to it or something. It's so good. Mika, she must have had an idea or aesthetic for the room. Exactly. That's exactly what I had imagined in my head. Like almost like if I was living in a comic book world, like those words just kind of floated out from her as she said it. And they were italicized. Aesthetic. Dormoth, you're right, they totally do. And you do have an IKEA near me. Well, there you go. Sweet. Okay, so if you go to IKEA, Dorimoth, if you go there anytime soon, do me a favor. Pay attention to the music that they play there. Just take a moment and really just drink in and absorb the music that they play there, because every time I go to IKEA, I play a little game. I play a little game with my brother where we sit and we listen to the music and we imagine what that background music would be for a video game. Because it's like you guys know, like elevator music or Muzak, you know, like the inoffensive corporate music that plays at like grocery stores or shopping malls, so that, you know, people just have something to listen to, but it's not distracting. IKEA has that, but there's this weird quality to it that feels like, I don't know, it feels like it's from a video game or something. Like it's so weird to me, or maybe I'm just like far too obsessed with video games, so everything looks like video games to me. But yeah, it's so odd to me. So we'll be listening, and then I'll just say like futuristic town in an RPG, or, you know, something's playing and there'll be like these kind of like mysterious bells, you know, like these like Asian sounding kind of like bells and stuff, and I'll go, ancient civilization flying in the sky. Okay, let us take a moment and assess where we are at with our pal Borborgimos. We are making a mess. This rock here is starting to feel a lot more integrated into the cork, right? Instead of looking like two separate pieces. It's not aesthetic enough? Oh, crap. I'm failing my aesthetics test. Dorimoth, I like this game you've made. Yeah. Like, see, here's the thing, though. I have no idea if that's just my IKEA that plays this weird-ass music, or if this is a thing at, like, all IKEAs. Like, they all have the same CD that they just play. They all have the same access to the same website, and they all just play the same thing. I have no idea. So you might go there, and you'll be super disappointed because they're playing like they're playing Drake or something. I don't know. They probably wouldn't be playing Drake, but you know what I mean? You might be disappointed, but I'm tempted. I'm very, very tempted, guys, to write a letter to IKEA, to Mr. IKEA. I'm very tempted to write a letter to Mr. IKEA and ask, where the hell is this music from, and how can I have it too? Mothman, I found sewing stuff. Wool? Woo! Now I may attempt to make a mini mending kit. Go for it. Go for it. That sounds like a nice small project to work on. Okay, okay. According to Mika, this is not quite aesthetic enough. But we will continue. It's not done, you know. We still have time. We still have time to make it aesthetic. And again, every time you say aesthetic, you have to imagine the words floating out in front of you with the proper spacing. So, what do we have here, everyone? This is a spool of wire. And I'm thinking I can use this wire to add roots and vines for this tree that I've been working on. But also, yeah, for like roots and vines that are kind of like growing and kind of moving in and around the rocks. As I said earlier today, or sorry, the other day, I was amidst the trees. I was in the forest picking up these branches and stuff like that, and I was also observing like cliff sides and rocks, you know, because I want this stuff that I'm making to look kind of real, sort of, right? So I was like, oh, okay, there's like vines. There's like vines and roots that kind of grow over and on top of the rocks. So I thought maybe we could use this. Barbed wire, not quite barbed wire. You could make barbed wire out of this stuff, though. You could. Okay, how are we going to do this? Ooh, I don't have my... Let's just twist this around. Let's just twist this to kind of make a thicker looking vine, right? Just using my pliers to kind of hold this stuff in place while I twist. And I'm guessing I'll need a couple of these roots and wires, right? So we'll just kind of carry on and make a big long line of this stuff. And then we will we'll kind of just cut it as we need. I must have seen this somewhere from like a crafting person or maybe like a model tank builder. I've seen this kind of thing where they kind of twist it around, right, to make the wire look thicker. And maybe we can kind of twist it on the other end too. That might be faster. I don't know. No, I don't think that'll be faster, to be honest. Tank? Yeah, I've seen some people make well, not something particularly useful for the tank itself, but rather if they're making a diorama around a tank, you can do something like this to create wire fencing or any kind of like any wire. I guess maybe even for the tank itself if you want to put some kind of thicker wire, right? Are you getting a model tank kit? Not immediately. Zvicky boy, if I'm reading that correctly. Hello, Zvicky boy. How's it going? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. What are you up to? What are you up to these days? Okay, let's just cut this off. But you know, I was thinking about buying these model kits. Sad dad. Sad dad. Sad dad. But yeah, I was thinking about buying a let's make a few more of these because I think that's not enough. What's it called? World War Tunes tank. I think Notslide mentioned it to me, but yeah, I was thinking at one point of picking up a tank model, not for Warhammer or anything, but yeah, these World War II tanks, they look really fun. As fun as a tank can be, I guess. But they look like kind of cartoony versions of tanks. Damn man hands. It's all good. It's all good, man. Don't worry about it. Oh, I'm so bad at spelling on Twitch when I'm chatting, cause like I want to type things fast, cause like it's almost like a conversation, right? Like I want to keep up with the chat and talk to people as things are happening on the chat. And so I'll just type really fast, and then I end up misspelling things. But here we go. Look at this. Look at this. This is the new and improved method of making my wire thingamajiggers. And we're just going to twist. We're going to hold this on one end, and then we're just going to twist this. And then we'll have some wire. We're just twisting and twisting, and then it becomes a power drill. Yeah, that would be actually pretty sweet. That would be pretty useful. I do have access to a power drill, but I'm too lazy to get it now. So this is what we're doing. Earlier today, I was drilling holes into twigs, and now I am twisting wire. It would be the smart thing to do. You're right. You're right. But I never said that I was smart. Energy efficient as well, yeah, because, you know, I'm getting so tired from doing this. And yeah, it's looking thicker. And in fact, I don't think I need every single part of this wire to be super tightly wound, because like real branches and twigs and stuff and vines, that's actually what I wanted to say, real vines, you know, they're not like consistent, right? And they can have these like gaps inside intertwined with them and stuff. So here we are. There's some wire, and yeah, my plan is that I would like to kind of have some of this stuff kind of wrap and coil around the rocks, right? And we can kind of pose it to do what we want. And I think that'll look really good. However, there's only so much that I can do right now. Because the glue and all of this crap is drying, right? So it's only so much I can do. Dory Moth, what's the bare part of the wood gonna be? Alright, so let's take a look. It might be a little hard to see, but there's this higher elevation, right? All of this here, where's my sword of pointing? All of this here is a higher elevation, right? And then there's the lower part here, and it kind of slowly kind of there's a gradation going down. And the plan is that I'll be painting this a kind of like a murky, dark, greenish, bluish color. All of this, even including some of these rocks and stuff. And then I'm going to take some resin. Well, first I'm going to cover up the entire circumference of this base, right? I'm going to sort of seal it up, create a wall, and then I'm going to do a resin pour. A resin pour up to the shoreline, so to speak, right? And then that's going to be water. Okay, that's the plan, Dory Moth. That's the plan that I have in mind. I've never done this before. I've watched YouTube videos of people do it, so I'm kind of hoping I could do it too. But that's the plan, is that it's going to be kind of like a body of water, that this guy is standing on top of. And this whole scene, once again, Mikazuki, you're also watching Midway, so I'm kind of in the background. Yay, I'm in the background. I believe in you. Thank you. Thank you for the belief. I appreciate it. I need the belief. Again, this is sort of like the plan, right? These bases, I made these the other day as a kind of test to see if we could, to see how all of this was all going to work together, the snow and the rocks and the dirt and the bushes. And I'm pretty happy with this result. We could use a bit more practice with the snow stuff, but overall I'm pretty happy with that. And that will be applied to all of this. It's going to be applied to the entirety of this model, except for this part here, which is going to be the water, which again, I've never tried before, but hopefully we can pull that off. Mothman, alright, I have an idea, but it requires me to get some YouTube tutorials. Gonna go watch those. Stay fresh cheese bags, cool. Good luck. Good luck to you. I hope that it turns out well. Okay, so how are we doing for time? It's 2 hours. We're at 2 hours, and look at all that we have accomplished. So glorious. We've just made more of a mess. But it's a part of the process. It's what we got to do. I think what I want to do right now is kind of continue to work on this this shoreline and make sure these rocks look kind of smooth-ish. So let's kind of work on that. And today's stream, by the way, might be a bit of a short one because I did start a little later than normal, so I might end things a little earlier than normal. It's a weird day for me, I guess. I don't know. I started late, was feeling like a little blah, but I was like, despite the blahs, we must carry on and work on this. That's why we're here. The freshest of cheese bags. That base is starting to look heavy. Where is he? Well, it does have a bunch of rocks on it. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's okay so far because, you know, I haven't actually resorted to using real rocks. Like, there's sand on it, sure, but I haven't actually used real rocks just yet. If I were to use real-ass rocks, then it would definitely start to get heavy, which I kind of don't want. I mean, I've definitely done that in the past, but trying to avoid that now. Ass rocks. Big ass rocks. But yeah, you know what? I was thinking that I wasn't going to be terribly interested in the stuff that Nintendo was going to show this morning, but I ended up walking away from it being like, hey, those look fun. They look weird, like the frickin' monster farming thing. They look weird, no doubt about that, but they look fun. I like fun. I like fun and weird. And yeah, so right now I'm trying to kind of smooth out some of these cork parts, the larger clumps of cork that I have here, trying to smooth them out. One thing that I saw that looked really nice when people make these dioramas is like they create the shoreline and there's a bit of the rocks, there's a bit of the rock kind of peeking out above the water line. I thought that looked really nice. I don't think I'll be able to do that here because I can see that the shoreline is like right here, and all the rocks are kind of below that shoreline. So if I want to do that, I'm gonna have to get some big ass rocks. I'm gonna have to put some some ass rocks. Let's see. Let's see if I can put a clump of cork, which we will then turn into a ass rock. Let's see. I don't know. It looks weird though, just seeing it just like that. Like, I don't know. I don't have confidence that it'll look good. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, I don't know. We'll just leave it. We'll leave it alone for now. Again, that's all like something that I've been trying to do is really try and make it look natural, but I don't know. I don't know if we can pull it off. And all of this is gonna have to dry. It's gonna take like a couple of hours to really dry before we continue working on it. So yeah, in that case, I might have to do the rest of this stuff off stream. So yeah, I know how much everyone was looking forward to me playing with dirt and rocks, but yeah, there's only so much I can do on stream. Dorimoth, can you add the ass rocks to the resin after you pour? I don't think so. I don't think that'll work. Again, I'm not an expert. I've never tried it myself, but every time I've seen it, it's almost like they've, if you imagine like real life, there was like a riverbed, right? And all the things were there in the riverbed prior to the adding of water. That's kind of like how it should, that's like how the process should be, right? Because resin, once you've made your resin mix, it's like it's a two-part mix as well for resin. Once you mix those two parts together, you have like 10 minutes or something like that to pour it all in. It's setting immediately, right? It's starting to set immediately and dry. So yeah, like inserting a rock, an ass rock, into the resin as you're working on it, I'm not sure if that's going to work out, because you also want to have everything sort of figured out in terms of this entire layout situation. I think. I don't know. Again, I've never tried it myself, and it might get to the point where I'm like, oh, I could have done that. And yeah, like I said, I want these twigs and trees, but I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to put them. We can refer to the diagram here. There's my highly accurate diagram sketch that I made. And again, I have some sticks that I'm just gonna poke right there. But you know, just having one little tree. I love him. Yeah. Yeah. I posted that on my Twitter and Instagram, and people seem to enjoy that little doodle. I want to protect him. Yeah, it seems a little weird just to have one tree, you know? Like you probably should have a couple of trees, but at the same time, you know, you don't want to distract from the entire composition. At the end of the day, it really should be about the model here, right? So I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about that too.